Good morning.
Good morning.
Madam Chair and members of the Board of Commissioners, my name is Matt Varney, and I, along with my business partners Chris and Rob DeCino, have specialized in selling horse farms at Ocala Horse Properties. We live and work in this county and are proud to say we invested millions in the local industry. But today, we are not here to talk about real estate. As you know, on May 1st, the Florida Department of Transportation revealed its plans for the Marion County section of the Coastal Connector. These plans are the result of the Florida Turnpike Enterprise's alternative corridor evaluation, which has been undertaken over the last several years without any significant public involvement. There is no better example of this lack of public involvement than what has been displayed to property and business owners in the county as proposed routes. We are here today to help communicate the overall frustrations of a group and a community that has quickly united in the thousands and is growing by the hour as news of this proposal spreads. There are many people impacted by these routes. Our first frustration, let's start with the FDOT and the Florida Turnpike Enterprise. Most of the community found out about these routes on May 1st, the same day we were invited by the FDOT and the FTE to come to a public meeting at the Hilton for more information. At the Hilton meeting, the out-of-town representatives were there not to answer questions. They were instead there to spit their well-rehearsed PR, deflect emotionally charged appeals, and to show us how to use their touchscreens. Worse yet, comments were made by these groups like, and I quote, "It's an urban myth that property prices go down when a major road is constructed. We were told not to worry as this is a long way off and won't be completed until 2045. And my personal favorite, it will make your commute much easier." It was obvious to us in attendance that these engineers drew some lines through what they thought would be less impact, right through farms, right through horse country. They did this without any thought as to how it would affect our county. How do we know this? Their proposed routes completely ignored basic environmental issues, trudging through our flood zones and destroying some of the best soil in the entire world for raising horses. They ignored that per acre of land, we are the highest grossing agricultural county in the state and generate considerable revenue from this farming and equine tourism. They ignored that their routes, if realized, would disrupt approximately 20% of your county's GDP. There was absolutely zero understanding as to the immense value this land carries per acre and how their routes would absolutely decimate property values in those areas. And they certainly had no interest in our existing farmland preservation designation. Even more perplexing was that they also ignored a recent study done by the I-75 Relief Task Force that specifically said not to build this type of road before improving other existing options. So what does the Florida Turnpike Enterprise do? They insult our intelligence by trying to rebrand this proposal under this guise of hurricane relief, further flooding I-75. The level of incompetence demonstrated by the FDOT and the FTE has been nothing short of historic, and they should be embarrassed by their public presentation to Marion County thus far. Our second frustration has been with political leaders. Your jobs are anything but easy. But we believe that some of you missed an opportunity in the last 14 and a half days to grab a hold of some very low-lying political fruit. We as a community understand that this is a state issue and a state road, but you represent us. The second you saw these ridiculous proposed routes run through some of the most iconic and coveted land in the entire county and state, you should have called your own press conference, written your own opposition pieces, and gotten yourself out in the public as much as possible to say how absurd this entire proposal was. We realize today that this is the first time you will speak about this publicly together. So we suggest that you do not miss any more opportunities. Like the irrational 15 days that we were given to us to respond to this proposal, our allowed 5 minutes today will not grant us enough time to completely communicate the overall negative impact something like this would have on the future of our county. Instead, we will now pass this along to concerned, well-informed citizens about how this potential project would affect them. But please remember, you are representing us today while sitting under the Marion County seal, which so proudly displays what is important to our community. This proposal by the FTE and the FDOT threatens to plow the horses right off that seal. On behalf of this community, myself and my business partners at Ocala Horse Properties, we want to request this matter be put on the agenda for next meeting for a vote to decline and completely opt out of the Coastal Connector in Marion County. Do not miss this opportunity to make a stand and protect your county as horse capital of the world. Thank you.
Thank you.